Back with another scrape, taking a look at Kohls. Kohls right now has a number of sales going on with President's Day with their clearance. They have a 15% coupon and they have Kohls Cash. So what I've done is gone through and created a scrape. This is based off of at least 60% discount, sorted by top rated. The hopes there being if customers are buying and rating it, then it would be a good or best-selling type of item. And went through and grabbed 30 pages of that return and created this scrape, which is about 16,000 rows. So now that I am in the spreadsheet, first thing I like to do is enable my filters and then sort by sales rank, smallest to largest. So again, these will be our fastest moving. The lowest sales rank is better. The other thing I like to do right off the bat is just filter out anything where the reviews are going to be less than, say, 5. So if I do greater than or equal to 5, so at least I know they have some reviews. And next thing I will look at is profit. So let's start at, say, 15 or greater. And then you can see here on the different things, we've got a wide variety of products from kitchen to shoes to makeup to clothing. I did that on purpose just so that I can get a good variety of different things to look at. And this gives me a good list to go through of items that are at least $15 of profit. This list here is 280 items that have at least 5 reviews that have that profit. So from here, I just look at brands that I may be familiar with or products that I want to look at. When you're looking at sizing, I tend to stay away from things that are like 3X, 4X, 5X. Those are generally profitable because they're harder to find, but they also tend to get higher returns. So you might try it, but I don't know if I would go real deep into something like that because I have gotten a lot of returns when it's about 3X or up. It's probably because it's difficult to gauge this size when you're purchasing online. But looking at something like this, I can open that up and this will tell me right away if, I'm able to sell Columbia, if it's a IP alert. So I would, of course, be looking at that. So it looks like I'm ungated. I'm able to sell it. SellerAmp does have an IP warning, so it's something I would want to look at. So what I would do also is just kind of see the sellers here. So up to 10, and there's not too many steep declines like you would see with IP complaints, but it might be something to take a look at. But this particular one, you can see it's the exact same product in extra large with the yellow and extra large. Our price here is about 45 before Kohls Cash. So if I click that again, it's going to tell me my price is $35.99. And then that's what I would enter over in here. And that gives me a profit of $20. And then from there, obviously this would be a good sale. I would just want to make sure that I'm able to sell it or I'm not going to get in trouble, and just kind of look at the variety here. So one thing I like to do that with the buy box suppressed, make sure it's actually 81.90. It is. See who's selling it. So this with a lot of ratings tells me that they're an experienced seller. Maybe they have a deal with Columbia. This one maybe not as much, like 125 ratings. But the other thing I would do is check out in the offers section, look at the price history and just see who else has been selling this. And you can just kind of get their idea of how many ratings they have. So it seems like a pretty good mix here of smaller sellers, larger sellers. So this would be something that I would at least try. And as long as the IP alert, I have this plugin, doesn't go off on that. So it might be a little hesitant with that, just with the SellerAmp saying that. But SellerAmp tends to have a little bit more false alarms than, say, the IP complaint. So this one looks good. I'll go ahead and bold it here, and then I'll mark it in green so I can sort by color later. The other thing I noticed here is like when you find one that's good, you can also look at, sometimes there's a lot of variations of that exact same product. So I could go through there. Some of these might be a little bit different, but of course they're all still Columbia. This one's showing $37 profit. It's probably worth looking at. Get rid of these old ones here. So again, this is now 1x in that yellow. And this looks a little different, but it is 1x in yellow. Just want to make sure this says Benton. And this does say Benton. So it looks like the color may be off, but it looks, everything else matches. If I was looking at the price, again, that's our $35.99. And that's where we get our $35 profit. So again, it's something you want to look at and just see the different sellers here going from 4 to 2. And then, who's selling it now and then who's been on it. So again, we have that same seller from the previous listing. You have another seller here with toys and other stuff. So probably okay to sell this this particular one. So I will bold this one as well and mark it in green. So we can look at some other things. So this is pants. Pants can be a little bit tricky because there's so many varieties, but you can certainly look at them and see if it makes sense. So this one is going to be 54 waist and 34 length. 54 waist is pretty big. It's a big and tall size. Here we have 54, 34. There's only one left. So this I'd probably pass on. And again, pants they're good to sell, but there's so many varieties, which is one of the advantages of scraping, but certainly is worth looking at. So this is a New Balance. I know that they have a clearance on some of these shoes, so this may be one. We're looking at this one again, somewhat large and 14 extra wide. That might be kind of a niche purchase, but obviously some people purchase that. Looking here, we have 14 extra wide. There's 3 left. It's obviously the same shoe exactly, which is good. And then I would just be looking at to see. So Amazon has been on this previously. Around $70. They sold out. You can see no one's been selling this for a while now. Some people have jumped back on. That's where we get that increased price. So something like this may be worth buying 1 or 2 just to make sure A, the price doesn't go back down, or B, that you're able to kind of jump on and take advantage of that price at 56. That makes our price $44.79. So I would plug that in here. And again, yeah, really good profit, almost 100% ROI on this one. So even if it's kind of a larger shoe, even if it doesn't sell as many because of that size, it's probably worth experimenting. 1 or 2, if you sell them, buy 1 or 2 more, or maybe this is something that, you keep replenishing on. So I like listings like that, especially when you do FBM, because you can jump on them quickly. You can see that the history of the price has been a lot lower because it jumped up when they sold out. So if you're thinking FBM or FBA, I'm sorry, you would have to kind of take that into account because, you're going to lose pretty much all of your profit if it went back down to that price. But with FBM, you could take advantage of that immediately and list a few. And if you get sales, great. If not, then, you only had a couple that you purchased. So here's some more New Balance. We can look at, this is another Columbia. Just take a look at this real quick. This is a shoe this time. So this one's 7.5 in men's. Not too bad, a little small, but decent. And this one, let me reopen that link here. Takes us right to the exact same thing. This is a closeout deal. It's on sale. It's basically $60. There's only one left, but you can get the idea. If I plug in that price, this would be a pretty decent shoe at 46% ROI. You can see a little bit of price competition here, probably repricers going against each other, but one of the sellers has now dropped out and the price is stable. So even though there's only one left, maybe that would be a good one to buy. I'm not going to bold it just because there's only one left, but it's a good example of the types of things that we're looking for. So Skechers, again, has been a pretty good shoe here. So this one is showing around $20 profit. We'll check out Skechers. Oh, these are actually pants. So we just want to make sure it matches up. This is small in black. This one, you can see visually the exact same thing, small, and it's asphalt black. So Same product. This is in stock, $36.75. I just like to check my cost, which is reflecting that 20% discount. Puts that at $29.40. That's what I'll put in here. And for pants, which are pretty lightweight to ship, this is less than a pound of shipping, which is really great. That's a really good profit and really good ROI. So then I would just check and make sure, see how this is doing. Not a ton of sellers. There's only one seller on right now. But again, if you buy a couple of these and, it's on a popular listing with, 2K sales rank, 1% BSR, people will find it and buy it, even though you can see there's a lot of different color options here and there's a lot of different sizes here. So you can see this one listing has a ton of variations. But when you find something like this, and if you're concerned, you can check the reviews. So if I go back over to my reviews column, looks like this one has 1734 reviews. So that's pretty good. This is a pretty good selling variant of that listing. So that's definitely one I would be looking at for sure. So I will go back to here. I will bold that and I will put it in green so that I can sort it later. So you get the general idea here. What I'm looking at when I'm just eyeing these, I'm looking obviously at ROI. Like I could sort by a highest ROI as well as rather than just sales rank. When you see something like this, over 100% ROI is always interesting. Again, that Columbia brand, as long as we don't get in trouble selling that. This now is a vest. Make sure that it's the same thing. We're going over here. We'll look at our listing. Looks very close. A little bit different on the Columbia label here. This is black with white lettering. The picture here shows this with just white lettering and a little bit of a top. So I'm not sure on this one. I think I would stay away just because I don't know if it's going to be the same product. So there's no reason to risk. You see all these ones that we have to work with here. So we have some more pants. SodaStreams, I personally love selling these. So when they're on sale, you have a good coupon, especially if you're able to use a Kohls card. These all, sell really well. I actually got a box that fits those exactly from Uline, so they're very easy to ship FBM. You can't send them in FBA because of the carbonation compressor thing is considered hazardous. You can see hazardous is lit up. So right now they have this on sale for $99.99. Usually you can do a coupon, so that would make it even less. That would make it about $85, and then you would take 20% off of that. So let me just do that quick calculation. Would make my purchase price $68, which is pretty good. So here you can see it's been even lower, but if I put a $68 purchase price in here, that's $30 profit for each one that I sell of these, and these sell really well. So I really like these SodaStreams. In fact, I've bought 20, 30, or 40 at a time when they've had really good coupons. So here it does say IP. I haven't personally had a problem with that, but I have heard some others say that they were warned or something with that. But you can see there's 13 sellers on here right now. 36 ratings, 80 ratings, 91 ratings, 33 ratings. So these aren't like people who have a deal with SodaStream to be an authorized reseller. So the other thing you'd want to look at is, again, the number of sellers. I'm not seeing a bunch of cliffs where they're coming in and saying like, okay, I'm removing all the sellers. So I've sold these, but your mileage may vary on SodaStream. But I will go back and definitely bold this one is a good buy. And put that in green. So you get the idea. Just looking through these, you have some more pants. Again, not bad, but because there's so many variations, I'd probably want to look and see how many reviews each of these have in comparison to the total. So you look at 2,000 review total, and they have a decent amount of reviews on that particular one. So it might be something I would look at with pants. Here's another SodaStream because they have the different varieties. So always worth checking that out. When you're looking at an off color like blue, like they definitely sell. You still look at Keepa here and like it's not as much as the black, but they definitely sell. And again, if you're getting that really good price in here, say it was $68, that's really good profit right now, especially if it's 143. I always like to see who's selling it and how much they have. So there's not a ton of options here. Like this one has 6, but these sell a lot. So that could sell out very quickly. And you can see another one with 3, and they're both at that 143 price point. So another really good purchase, especially when there's a coupon. If you have a Kohls card, it can take 30% off of that. Now you're looking at, let's see, your buy cost would be 70, but you're taking Kohls cash would be 56. So you could really make a lot of money on something like that. And that's exactly what we're looking for when we're looking at web scraping. So that is there. I'm going to save my progress, keep on looking through here, maybe look at some of these. I'm not sure. This is an area rug that would probably be very difficult to ship. So I'll probably avoid that. KitchenAid, I believe, is definitely on a IP complaint. I don't believe they allow you to sell, or if they do, they'll probably come after you. Here's some more Skechers. This one is a sneaker. Looking at $26 profit is not a bad thing. So just opening this up, this is 8 wide, and looking at here, there's some activity here, not a ton of sellers. Looks like it's gone up a little bit, but the price is pretty stable. My price from Kohls, $52.49, which is on sale. You take 20% off of that, which is my cost column here, $41.99. You plug that in, and that's where you're going to get that really good profit. So if I do $41.99, $32 profit right now. You can see the different sellers. Pretty stable here. I don't see anyone. This is about $95, $96. That's what this is showing. So yeah, it looks pretty good. Again, maybe you buy a couple and see how it goes. But these definitely sell. It's a good sales rank. It's a good BSR. There's a bunch of different options on here. So people are definitely looking at this. And when you're on a listing like that in a good solid color and, something like 8 wide that someone would maybe want to go online to find if they can't find that in the store, then yeah, these are all day long are good sales. So I am going to bold that. I put that in green and just kind of keep going down the list. So this is an Adidas. This one is 3X. So again, it's questionable. The shorts, I think I had a little bit more returns on. I haven't really seen a ton of returns on shirts. Usually people understand, like, if they're going to buy 2X, 3X, that, what shirt they want. So this is 3X large Adidas. Same thing here, 3X large Adidas. It's on sale. It is not coupon eligible, but with that 20% Kohls cash on this one makes our buy cost 18, which is nice. I put 18 into here, and it's selling for 50. So I'm looking at almost 100% ROI on something that's less than £1 to ship. Like FBM, that's perfect all day long. Amazon had it, but they've sold out. You can see, like, there was only one seller, Amazon, and then one seller recently jumped back in, and they're just basically setting their own price. So will someone pay $50 for a t-shirt? I mean, you never know, but if you want to put this in at, $47.75 or something, you're still, making it really good. And because it's the only option, or you're the best price, you're likely to get sales. Again, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at a low sales rank. We're looking at a 1% BSR, a popular listing with lots of options. Someone comes in and says, okay, I'm 3X. The colors that are in stock light up. You're one of those. You put that in there and boom, you're going to get a sale. So that's pretty much how it works. And with scraping, like, you're looking at all of these, all the different colors, all the different sizes. Of course, you're matching to what Kohls actually has in stock, and they only have these right here. But the general concept is, if you're looking at a retail store that carries a lot of these in different sizes and things, that's where scraping is going to pick up each and every one of them, match it up, tell you if it's profitable or not. So I will go ahead and bold this one here. So making progress. You can see how quickly that I'm finding good ones to purchase just by going down the line. I'm skipping a ton of these. Like if I really wanted to vet each and every one, I could absolutely do that. But I'm just kind of eyeballing it right now, looking at some of these that are higher on the ROI. Vans, I'm not sure if they let you sell. This one might come up as an alert. Yeah, it does. So again, I wouldn't risk it. IP alerts can be a pain. Yes, you do have the right to purchase it new and resell it on Amazon, but you can see there's not a lot of not a lot of variation here in the number of sellers. And those 4 sellers, I pretty much, you have a new one who's probably risking a IP complaint. But if you look at some of these other guys, yeah, they've got 7,000 ratings, 2,000. They probably have authorization by Vans to sell it, and the ones that don't are probably going to be the ones that get an IP complaint if they bother or take the time. So when it triggers like that, I don't really want to risk it, so I tend to avoid it. I have not sold Vans. I mean, you could purchase this and sell it on eBay, or if they don't go after you there, you could try something like OfferUp. You could try a Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, Mercari. Lots of different places. When you find a really good deal on something, it does, just because Amazon's going to say that they'll come after you, maybe even sell it on Walmart. Like, it's not to say don't buy something when you're looking at a really good discount or something like this, where you're looking at a potentially 100% ROI. But at the same time, it's probably not worth it on Amazon to risk that type of headache when you get those IP complaints. So again, you can see there's a big list here of different things that we could be looking at. This one looks like another rug. Probably stay away from that end loom rugs, but you can see here's some boots. Pretty decent ROI. These are worth looking at. I don't know if UGG allows you to sell. Here it's saying it's okay. So probably want to make sure and just vet it with the other sellers. Amazon is on the listing. That's not necessarily a bad thing, although I don't see a lot of other sellers here. That would make me a little bit nervous, where if you look at the history here, and you can see this has been like up and down, up and down. There's not a lot of variation, not a lot of people on here. So it doesn't say that there's an IP here, and this says it's okay. So I might experiment with it, or look at it, or maybe see like who's been selling it in the past. I don't see a lot of variations here, and what were their ratings. So yeah, these are like very high ratings on most of these. Or if it's Amazon warehouse. So again, I probably won't sell this particular one, but it might be worth experimenting with for something like that. Here we've got some more Skechers. Those can be really good. We've got some makeup here. So Sephora sells on Amazon or on Kohls. This one is saying IP alert. So whatever this brand, probably not something that I would sell, but it's a good thing to have those alerts come up just so that you know. So going back here, just looking through, we have Eddie Bauer. This looks like a jacket. This one is a raincoat, showing at 65% ROI. Let's see if Land's End triggers anything here. It does not. So this may be a little bulky to ship. I guess it's only 2 pounds. That's not too bad at all. But you can look again and see different variations. Not a ton of sellers. So again, it's something you want to look at. Sometimes there's not a lot of sellers because people don't know about it. But in this case, it's the brand that's selling. So definitely would not be tempted to go onto there unless I had their permission to do that. So we just continue to look. A lot of times when you find something that you like, of course, Nike is really good. This one's showing 100% ROI. That's always nice. Make sure that this is actually in stock. So this is slides. Those sell really well. This is size 3. Here, again, size 3 in white, closeout deal. Let's see how many that Kohls has. They still have 85. So again, this is pretty good. You're looking at $25. Where you take 25% or 20% off of that, you're basically looking at a $19.99 purchase price. and you're looking at 100% ROI, $20 profit per slide. You can see it's very consistent here. The price has been very consistent, not a ton of competition. So this is a perfect product to find with scraping, like not a ton of competition. It's a decent sales rank. There's not even a ton of different varieties. You have that size. There's a lot of them in stock. You're looking at 100% ROI. Like this is something I would be tempted to buy pretty deep into, especially when you're looking at this price stability over the last 90 days and 180 days. Like, I mean, the price has been almost identical. So I'm not really worried that my profit's suddenly going to go down, unless I guess a lot of people find this sale. Yeah, stuff like that is perfect. Even to send that to FBA, you would do that for sure. And like, you know, I don't know if you'd buy all 80 of them, but you could certainly buy a ton of them. And again, you're locking in that $19.99 price for something that's for the last 6 months has been $55. So I thought, you know, that is a great find on here. So we'll keep looking. So there's more Columbia, again, at 97% ROI. Here's another one at 140%. Here's another slide again. So this is probably the same shoe, maybe different color or different size. Yeah, it's the same thing in size 2. We'll make sure that Kohls actually has that. Again, same thing, closeout deal, $24.99 makes my buy cost $19.99. Let's see how many of these. They have 70. So again, this is like perfect. This is just shooting fish in the barrel. It's easy money. You put $19.99 as your cost. You're still looking at that almost 100% ROI. Not a ton of sellers. Again, there's only 3 sellers. The price is a little bit more jumpy, but again, even at your worst, you know, your lowest in the last 3 months, you're still looking at 48, and it's what? 53 right now. And that probably doesn't include shipping, which is why it's listed there. So again, you can go back a year and just kind of see it's been even higher at times. Your worst case is 32, where maybe you would break even, but that's been, you know, about a year. It's been that price. So I wouldn't worry so much about that. But again, you can see, okay, look, we're checking different variants, and each variant has its own row, right? So, you know, it's basically giving me that information of cost and profit on each one. And I could very easily come in here and filter and say, okay, if I want to, you know, I could take Nike slide, for instance, or I could just put slide here in my text, and now I'm going to see all of the ones that have them. So here's one that was a 14 with 50% ROI. Here's another one that's matching at 100% ROI. So then I would just look at that. And so this one again is on sale, 25. You take 20% off of that. It's a closeout. It's again the white. This time they have 101 of them, which is nice. Amazon, you're looking at $19.99. Again, that price at $55 is really good. You can see pretty stable, a lot of movement here, and not a lot of competition. So I really like this particular find. Like, this would pay for any of the bandwidth or subscription or anything for web scraping on just this one find, because are other people going to find it? Are they going to know? Are they going to see that this is a closeout in white in these sizes that are coming in at 100% ROI? Maybe, but the chances are that, you know, they're going to stumble upon it is much less than you coming in here and saying, okay, show me ROI like this. And it just laser focuses on that. So now if I go and clear that filter from the title, I'm back here. Let's say I sort by the highest ROI. So let's see what's the best case scenario in this particular one. Maybe I don't want to see that end loop. So I'm going to do text filters, and I'm going to say does not contain, because I don't really want to sell rugs. NU loom. So I'm going to get rid of those guys. So now they're filtered out. So maybe if you sell rugs, I don't mean to offend you, but yeah, I'm not going to be selling rugs just due to the shipping. But now you can see, look, there's still some on here that are over 200% ROI. This is a Keurig I'd want to vet these because this is a 96 count cup. It may be a little bit different. Definitely would be interested in vetting this. So this says 96 count for these cups for Keurig at 69, and this one is 24. So the whatever reason it matched different than that. So I guess what you would basically be saying is you would have to purchase 4 of these to get to 1 of these, and if you did that, you're not going to have that profit. So a good example of why you're double checking these things, just to make sure that the quantities match on things like coffee. If you see something that's too good to be true like that, it probably is. But some of these, like an Eddie Bauer thermal, you never know. Like, it's worth checking out. All right, so they do IP alert. I wouldn't sell there, but you can see if you did, or if you wanted to sell that on another platform, you're able to get a really good price on something that's a lot higher. Vans we checked. There's more Columbia. This one was an IP complaint. You can see some of these I've marked in green, so I've already kind of gone through some of these higher ROI ones. Just looking through to see if there's anything else. Billy Footwear, haven't heard of that one. And it's a good way to find new brands as well. Like, maybe this turns out to be a good brand, and then I decide I'm going to go look at other stores and see if they sell these kids' shoes as well. So this is 5 toddler, very cute. This one says 4, but I could select 5 in girls. So same shoe. This one's on sale. You get that coupon, so it's 30/60. You take that and you take your 20% off. Now you're looking at a buy cost of $24.48. $24.48. This one is showing, looks like around 66 and change. 66. I can put that in here just to get an idea. And there's your $24 profit, 100% ROI. This actually looks like it sells pretty well, considering, and there's a lot of activity, not a lot of competition, only 2 people on here. Again, this is a great example of, as long as they're not an IP here, it says I'm able to sell it. There's nothing that's coming up on SellerAmp. I don't see any real big gotchas. There's been more sellers, 12, 13. Now there's only 2. Again, another perfect listing I probably would have never found on my own. That could be quite profitable, especially with that movement. So I mark that in green. I save my progress. The other thing I'll be looking at on Kohls is just how many do they have. So 62. So again, I don't know if I would buy 62 and spend $1,800 on it, but I might buy, a significant portion of that. There are people that like that strategy, okay, hey, this is on sale. It has a coupon. It's already off the regular price with that coupon and Kohls Cash. I'm just going to buy out their inventory, limit the competition. I'm going to send, 60 into Amazon. And now for the foreseeable future, I'm the guy on Amazon getting this price here, at 52 is still pretty decent profit. So those are good strategies as well. That's the kind of things that you're looking for with web scraping. So I've got that. Again, just kind of skimming here, we have some shoes with Skechers. I like Skechers shoes. I don't know as far as velocity. They're obviously not competing with Nike and everything, but I've done pretty well. You can see this is a black with pink. Black with pink. We've got black rose gold, size 11. Just making sure this all matches. Black rose gold, size 11. So that's awesome. Takes you right there. You can see Amazon's been on this listing and they had a really decent price. As soon as they sell out, look what happens. Boom, the price goes up. You have a seller on here. He's saying, I want $100. Amazon comes back in, says, no, I'm going to make it 43. They sell out again. And he says, okay, I'm back at my 104. So this is probably a good example of something I would do FBM. If I could take advantage while Amazon is out of stock, I'm getting this 56 purchase price. It's around $45. $44.99 is my cost after Kohls Cash. So, yeah, I'm making $40 per sale on this with almost 100% ROI, I would definitely be like, I'm going to Kohls today. I'm going to buy 5 of these. I'm going to list them. And if Amazon comes back in stock, no harm, no foul. Either I'll just hold on to them, or I can always liquidate them at that price just to get rid of them. But until then, look at that profit, right? And look at that ROI. So that's a great use case here, again, of why I love web scraping. It shows you these, like, you know, Amazon's now out of stock. And, you know, I can immediately swoop in, get that price. You can see here the buy box pass has been lower at that 55 average. I don't care. Like, that's great. I could sell these today because Kohls, I can either overnight ship them to me, or I can look and see, do they have them in my area? You know, there may be some stores that I could pick it up today. If not, worst case scenario, I just overnight it and it arrives within a couple days and I'm on that listing, getting that price. So again, really good. Hagar, I'm not sure. This again is a good pant example. I may have looked at this earlier. You know, it says you can sell it. I don't know here if SellerAmp would say anything about that. But you can see there's a little bit of variations here. Like, you like to see at least some amount of sellers. There's been some times where it's been completely sold out. Right now, there's only one offer, and it's $90. So if I'm looking here, it's on sale, $50. I'm getting another $10 off of Kohls Cash. That makes my cost $39.99. Again, really good profit for a pair of pants. 2 pounds to ship isn't going to be terrible. Of course, you can fold them up, so you don't need a very large box. And then maybe I would just look out of curiosity here of the past offers, and just looking to Keepa, if it comes up, include the historical, and then I just want to see like who else has been selling it. So you have some 99.89, you know, 533 is a little bit of a bigger seller. Then you have like something like 1,000. So JBM brands, do they have an agreement? They might, but I've seen some other things on here. It's not alerting me to an IP complaint. So again, I might buy 1 or 2. I can, you know, make sure I have the receipt if someone comes after me and says, look, I bought this new. And it's more of a headache than I'm worried about like losing my account or anything. So on those, if you're not sure, I wouldn't go deep, because sometimes you could tell the brand, okay, I'll take my listing off and I won't sell it anymore and go away. Will you retract your IP complaint or inauthentic complaint or whatever you've done? And they'll agree. But if you bought like 30 of them, you know, that's much harder to do than if you only bought 2. So just some advice there. But I like these. I will bold that. You can see I'm about 37 minutes in, but I found a ton of things to purchase, you know, way more than I have money for. But yeah, there's some really good, and these are, you know, I'm not talking $2, $3 profit on these. I'm talking like, you know, really good amounts of profit and ROI for all of these products, which is, you know, you want your money to go as far as you can. And this is a great way to do it. So another Skechers is jumping out at me with boots. So I have sold some Skechers boots pretty successfully. Not a ton of returns. This is size 7 and an ankle boot. Size 7, you can see it's the exact same shoe, which is nice. And then you just kind of look at it. Another perfect example. Okay, Amazon's on there. Usually they're going to have a price you're not going to compete with. Like Kohls isn't going to, even with coupons, they're not going to get this at a price that's worth competing at 70. But when it jumps to 122, because everybody's out and there's only one other seller, again, perfect opportunity to jump on this listing. So all you retail arbitrage people out there, this is like, you would zero in. I could go to the store, I could buy the shoes that they have in stock, I could list it, and you know, you'd be getting sales by the time you get home a lot of times. So this is at 70, means my buy cost is 56 after 20%, $41 in profit, 70% ROI. Like, that's golden. Like, you know, so I wouldn't buy deep just because I'm worried. Even though Amazon comes in stock, they don't tend to stay in stock because they have that really good price. But I would be a little bit concerned buying a ton of these. They have 14, so I might buy all 14 just so that you're eliminating the competition. and there's not as much of a risk, but you're still looking around, with your Kohls Cash 56, you're still looking over, $500-600 of investment. But again, the potential ROI on that is great. So it's tempting for sure. Maybe I would buy 10 of the 14 and just see how that goes, or maybe I would just buy a few and list them FBM. And the problem is when Kohls Cash ends, when the sale ends, of course, that cost is going to go back up. And, then your opportunity is missed. So depending on whether you just buy a couple as an experiment or you go deeper, there's no right answer. It's just kind of assessing risk, if you will. A lot of these are Vans. We have another Hagar coming in at 70%. That's not bad. Here we have a slip-on for Skechers. These are probably not going to be very heavy, which is always nice when you're shipping. This is probably under 2 pounds. Yeah, around 2 pounds. So about 2 to 3 pounds for shipping. You just look at the velocity. So you can see all of these. Like, you run this scrape, it's going to tell you, hey, look, Amazon was on the listing. Now they're not. But you have someone jumping on here at 60. So I don't know if you look at that. Yeah, Zappos. It says they only have one in stock. So I wouldn't be afraid of that, although Zappos could come back with more stock. Amazon could come back with more stock. So I don't know if I would necessarily buy this just because Zappos is on there, but you can see the other one after that goes all the way up to 104. So if this one sells and it sells out, you could pretty much name your own price. But because they're on there and they have one, and I don't really trust maybe they only have one, I'm going to pass on that one. But again, it's great how the scraping identifies these opportunities that you can jump on and get a really good deal. Another one for Land's End, a little bit higher on the sales rank side, but those raincoats, not too bad. Columbia, some more Skechers pants. These I like because, again, they're easy to ship. You just put them in a poly bag, put them in a box. I think we looked at something similar. This is medium in gray. Let me reopen my link. This will show me medium in gray once it updates. So that charcoal gray medium, that $36.75 cost is $29.40. It's not eligible for coupons, but even so, $29.40 for my cost. And you look at that, I mean, you're making $20 selling a pair of pants is crazy. So 80% ROI. You can see, think the buy box or Amazon or someone jumped in there briefly, but this is like a lot of activity, which is kind of what you want to see, jumping all over the place. So yeah, I mean, chances are with a low amount of sellers, you only have one or two, you could jump on that and lock it that price in and get, on those sales they have, this one's out of stock. So never mind on that. But in general, you'd be able to jump in on stuff like that. So sometimes these will go out of stocks between the time you run the scrape and not, but because it's an exact moment in time, usually if you're doing this either right after you've run the scrape or the next day, you won't find too many that are out of stock. This will automatically filter out the ones out of stock at Kohls, so you don't see them and run into them very often. So, but you get the idea. Maybe you go all the way down to say 50% ROI. You've got a ton of these that are still really good profit, like making $26 profit on a shoe. I think we saw 8 wide. Now we're looking at 9 wide. It's like the same thing. $52.49. Your price after Kohls Cash is $41.99. Come back in here, $41.99. Great profit. Look at that. It's even gone up. If that's true, is it $95.74? Yeah, about with that, with the shipping. So you're looking at 75% ROI, $30 per sale. Some decent activity on a popular listing. So again, I like these. I marked them as bold, and I do the color. So say that I've gone down to 50% or whatever ROI that I want, or profit numbers. Sometimes there's still good profit, except it's a little bit higher expense. Like if you're going to do a winter coat like this, let's take a look at it. Just show you out of curiosity. So our buy cost on something like this is going to be higher. This is a pretty high sales rank in 3X, so I probably wouldn't purchase it, but you can see 119, but then you get 20% off. So that's where your, say, $99 buy cost comes in. You're still making $30 profit, but it's only 30% ROI because you're having to spend more to get that. So I tend to like to look at not only raw profit, but the ROI because I have limited amount of money to spend. So all said and done, I come back in here and I can unfilter. I can do many more things with a scrape that's 16,000 rows. I can look at, ones that don't have a ton of reviews, that may be new variants. I could look at things that are currently out of stock. I could look at particular brands like Nike that sell, especially when they're new variants and things. But say I'm done, I found the ones I want. What I would do is I would unfilter my entire sheet, refilter it with Control-Shift-L, and now I'm going to sort by color. So I could do filter by color, or I could do sort by color. I'll do sort by color so it puts those green ones at the top. And now this is like my buy list, right? So I found, in that short time, I found 16 different things to buy, really good profit and ROI on all those. And then I would just go through, open up Kohls, and just start adding these to cart. And depending on which one it is and the upside and things like that, I would determine how many. But even if I'm buying 5 of these, I'm already purchasing almost 100 items. So that's what I really like to do with scraping. And hopefully you get a general idea. With scraping, you're able to generate your own list on any search, any brand, any store. It's it's not shared. It's your list to work off of, and you essentially do the same thing and make really good purchasing decisions, hopefully. So if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.